joined now by Austan Goolsbee. He's the new chair of the Council of Economic Advisors and joins us live from the White House. And Austan, I take it you're settling in well into your new job. Mentioned that you've got more meetings than you can handle these days. But in any case, getting to the jobs report, though, some would say, I mean, we had an economist on earlier who said, look, this is disappointing nonetheless, okay? And so you're going to get Republicans out there saying that, look, this White House package or package of stimulus or stimuli just has not worked.
Well, look, we're clearly going the right direction. If you recall, the 6 months before the president came in, we'd lost almost 4 million jobs. We've turned that around. This is the 9th straight month where we had private sector job growth. But the president is the first to be out there saying this isn't enough. We need to do more. We need to get the growth rate higher and get the job engine growing faster. And I think that's where we are. I mean, we clearly face some serious headwinds from starting in the deepest ditch in our lifetimes, the worst since 1929. Right. And in this report, the positive was that the private sector continues to grow.
But it's not growing.
On the headwind side.
But it's not growing fast enough, Austan.
Correct. And the president said that many times. And the headwind pulling us down predominantly, obviously, the total job number is being pulled down by the 80,000 census workers who were working there temporarily, who are going away. But, we know the state fiscal conditions they're in a tough spot. And so we've got to keep doing the small business jobs kind of proposals that the president put forward and the investment stuff. Right,
and the state immunity jobs could actually, or the losses there, the budget problems there could possibly get even worse if this economy doesn't turn around quickly enough then. And you've got people like Joe Stiglitz coming out who has been very, very vociferous saying that we need another stimulus.
Look, what we need is to keep getting the private sector growing faster, and we need to do the kinds of policies that the president's proposing. You see, today the president's going out with this state small business lending assistance. Next week he's going to be talking about infrastructure. With construction employment down because the housing sector has been troubled for a couple of years, it makes natural sense to have those people get put back to work rebuilding the economic infrastructure of the country and to attract investment here. So look, there's some positives and there's some things that we want to overcome, and the only way to do that is to get the private sector better stood up.
Okay, but why not? But why not then help the small businesses by continuing these Bush tax cuts all across the board? Why not?
Look, everyone has documented that is an extremely misleading statistic, that more than 98% of small businesses would be getting a tax cut, that a lot of large businesses are getting called small business with those high income tax cuts. And if what you care about is small business, then why hold up, as they did for months, the president's small business assistance plan, which brought to 16 the number of times he's cut taxes for small business. We need to do things like the small business lending to the states that the president's doing today. Okay. That's what you do when you want to help small business. You don't go hand out $100,000 a year tax cuts to people that make $1 billion a year.
Okay, well, but we're not talking about people making $1 billion a year. We're talking about people who make over $200,000 or $250,000 a year. But
actually, more than 85% of the money is going to people that make more than $1 million a year. And everybody would get to keep the tax cuts on the first $250,000 of their income.
Okay, Austan, obviously there's a lot of disagreement on this from other sides, particularly in the business sector. I just want to run for you an interview we did earlier this week with Jack Welch, who's on the other side. He's a conservative, a fiscal conservative, but let's just run that for you.
This White House, this administration, has not been friendly to business. He has to have somebody that understands business, real business, not academics, etc.
Anti-business is what he says about the White House. He says you guys need business people in your administration.
Look, I'm friends with Jack. He's a great guy. He's obviously very colorful personality, and I think sometimes
he's not just saying it for fun, Austan. I mean,
it's not. Look, The president is not anti-business. His package is extremely pro-market. He's calling for major investment incentives for businesses to invest in this country. He's calling for investment in infrastructure to attract companies and exporters here.
But what he is calling for, and what other CEOs we've interviewed have called for, is that you guys need more real-world experience on your economic team. Do you disagree with that?
Look, it's the president's decision who to put on the economic team.